Baruchim Aboyim to the 18th European Moshiach Congress. And now we want to try and make sure that we work on a strict timetable because Hayom Kotzav Amlocha Meruba, especially Erev Shabbos, comes in very early, so people want to get home at a reasonable time, so we don't want to waste too much time. So without further ado, I would like to ask one of our very distinguished guests, Harav Pinchas Pastor from Paris, France, one of the Rebbe's earliest shluchim in France, who does tremendous work in Hafotzes Moyanis Chutza, or Bifrat, within Yoni Moshiach and Geula. I would like to ask him to come and to say the Rebbe's kapitel, and I would ask everybody to please stand while he says it. Thank you.
Ohavti Yishma Adinoi Es Keli Tachanunoi Kihito Oznei Li Uveyomai Eko Hafofuni Chevle Moves Umetzore Sheheil Metzohuni Soro Vyogein Emzo Uveshem Adinoi Eko Ono Adinoi Malto Nafshi Chanun Adinoi Vetzadik Ve'Eloheinu Merachem Shemer Pesoim Adinoi Da'aleisi Veli Yeheshia Shuvi Nafshi Limnuchoichi Ki Adinoi Gomal Oloichi Ki Chilatzto Nafshi Mimoves Es Eini Min Dimo Es Ragli Midechi Es Alech Lifnei Adinoi Be'artzeis Achayim Ehemanti Ki Adabeir Ani Onisi Meheid Ani Umarti Bechovzi Kol Ohodom Keizev Moashiv Ladinoi Kol Tagmuleihi Oloi Keis Yeshuis Eso Uveshem Adinoi Eko Nedorai Ladinoi Ashaleim Negdono Lechol Amei Yokor Be'eine Adinoi Amoveso Lachasidov Ono Adinoi Ki Ani Avdecho Ani Avdecho Ben Amosecho Pitachto Lemei Seroi Lecho Esbach Zevach Teido Uveshem Adinoi Ekro Nedorai Ladinoi Ashaleim Negdono Lechol Amei Bechatzereis Beis Adinoi Besechichi Yerushalayim Hallelujah Yechi Adonenu Moreinu V'Rabbeinu Melech HaMoshiach Leilom Voed Yechi Adonenu Moreinu V'Rabbeinu Melech HaMoshiach Leilom Voed Yechi Adonenu Moreinu V'Rabbeinu Melech HaMoshiach Leilom Voed Größere Anschkeuer Harav Hashdur for the Rebbe's kapitel.
Arichas Yomim V'Shonim Tovos, and Mamish, all the Rebbe's brachas should be Makuyim, Baruyim, and the Ikar is Iskalas Melech HaMoshiach now. I would like to play a short video of the weekly Sicha, which is Devar Malchus, and this will be followed by a further short showing of a video which was shown at the Kinus HaShluchim, where one of the guest speakers spoke, and I think everybody will be suitably impressed and inspired to hear this. Those that have already seen it, it's worthwhile seeing it again, because I don't think we could get too much of it. So without further ado, let me play you the video, and I hope that you enjoy it, spiritually as well as materially.
Here.
So this is probably a little bit of a surprise. Looks like I fell down from the moon. What's a guy with a shtreimel doing up here at this gathering? And if I had Yechi on my shtreimel, look from the top, from the bottom, it would be an interesting question of how do you put Yechi on a shtreimel? And I would let Navin figure out. But the reason I'm here tonight is because I was asked to speak. And why was I asked? It's because of a viral video that went out a couple of months ago. I spoke in Los Angeles for Yud Beis and Yud Gimel Tammuz, Eves Haninian. And today's days, there's no secrets. Someone took a video, and they asked me permission. And before I knew it, it spread everywhere. And based on that video, they asked me to speak. So let me give you a little bit of background, where I'm coming from. Mentioned before, I don't come from a chabad background, as you can see. And I come from a Chassidish background, grew up in Borough Park. I was always a thinker, I was always searching. For whatever reason, when I was 17 years old, B'Hashgach Elyono, learning in Slobodki Yeshiva, I ended up going to Kfar Chabad for a Shabbos. This is in Toshin Mem Tes, Yud Beis Tammuz. And I came there for Shabbos, and Motzosi, I found that Shahava Nafshi, this is what my soul was searching and longing. I heard a Mendel, he didn't verbrechen a Mendel foot the fast, but I was just glued to him. I heard Shiurim, Reb Zalman Goffin gave a shir in the minor from the Rebbe, and it blew me, it took me completely. I came back to Slobodka, and my soul was on fire. I'm learning and I'm trying to grab as much Chassidus as I can. Can't get enough. I learned with Reb Zalman Lando. I learned with Reb Mendel Vechter. And fine, I'm learning, fine. Until, in the end, my badge of honor. They kicked me out of Slobodka. So I don't have a Yechi pin, but I have my badge of honor. I was kicked out of Slobodka, fine. I'm a Sidus Nefesh for Chassidus. That was, now the time that I came to Lubavitch was in Mentes. And at that time was the height of the Moshiach frenzy. And I kind of was swept in to this feverish excitement about Moshiach. And we had Memches, Memtes, and it only became more intense, Nun, Nun Aleph, Nun Beis. And I was completely absorbed in this, and excited. And I was waiting every moment for the Hizgalus. There was no shadow of a doubt in my mind. It was so clear. And you're going to ask a question. You're going to say, I had no exposure to Lubavitch. I went to all the Rebbes in the world, but even though I lived in Borough Park, I came on nicht eingefallen to go to Crown Heights. So you're just totally new to Lubavitch. How do you have such a metamorphosis, such a transformation, showing such radical things? So I'll tell you. You see, initially when I was growing up, my Yiddishkeit was very superficial. I didn't really have a deep inner appreciation of what it means, Torah mitzvahs, the purpose of creation, the world. And the hashkafa that I had, whether it was a Litvish hashkafa, this, we're here to go to Olam Haba, we're here to reach shleimus and perfection, it didn't speak to me. It didn't speak to me. Quite on the contrary, there was something in me that rejected it very strongly. And when I started learning Chassidus, suddenly it came alive. The Alter Rebbe opened up the whole world. And I remember learning, I started with Shara Yichud Ve'amunah. I remember learning how everything in the world, every moment is being this Hava B'Shah, every Rega B'chol Rega V'Rega. The Baal Shem Tov's teaching that the Eibush is Mahava B'chol Rega V'Rega. The words that the Eibush spoke to create the heaven is right now creating the world right now. And I remember walking in the streets of Bnei Barak, and it filled me with such joy, because more than philosophy, more than the intellect, Chassidus resonates. It resonates in the neshama. It speaks to your etzem. It fits. It goes in. It makes sense. The neshama is makabelit. This was my experience. Fine. And then when I turn around, after suddenly Yiddishkeit makes sense, there is life, there is true neshama, there is infinite depth. The Indian of Dira B'Tachtoinem, the whole purpose is down here in this world. Gewalt. Then I turn around, and now I'm miskarev to the Rebbe. My initial attraction was to Chassidus. Now I'm miskarev to the Rebbe, and I'm observing the Rebbe, and I learn Basi Legami. And I read that when the Rebbe was a little boy, when he was just, and he says in the letter, from when I went to Cheder, and even before this, exactly the Lashon, that the images of Geula started forming in my mind. And again, the Rebbe is speaking that even before he starts going to Cheder, he's already thinking about the redemption of the world. Now, I've heard many stories, and you've heard of Gedolei Yisrael, tzaddikim, great men, who when they were very young, you saw already in them certain great genius. They learned, they knew. But they say about the Alter Rebbe, when the Alter Rebbe was a little boy, I don't remember exactly which age, I didn't look this up, maybe 3, 4 years old, the Alter Rebbe says that it was already clear by him, started feeling the sense, the idea of Neshamas Ani Asisi, that there's two Neshamas, an Nefesh Elokis and a Nefesh Bahamas. This is not ordinary information. This is only a person who's destined to write the Tanya, the person who's here to bring these truths in the world. This person feels this when he's 2 years old. This is not just information. This is not knowledge. This is an intuition. This is in a deep, intrinsic neshama gefühl. So here I'm looking and I see the Rebbe writing a letter like this. Or 2 years old. This is before even you can process knowledge. This is intrinsic. Then we read Basi Legami. And we read how the Rebbe speaks about 7 generations. That there's 2 times 7 generations. The 7 generations at the beginning, before to bring the Shekhinah down to the world the first time in the Mishkan, beginning with Avram Avinu, ending with Moshe Rabbeinu. And then there's again 7 generations that have, right before Moshiach comes, that have to bring the Shekhinah Lamata Ba'aretz. You learn that Maimah, it becomes absolutely clear from the very beginning what the Rebbe is saying. The Rebbe is comparing himself, the 7th generation, to Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu is a Goyel, and he's the Goyel, and there's the 7th generation, and there's no Shaila, and it's so clear. And even though Lubavitchers in general, it took a while for us to catch on what the Rebbe was saying, even though it was so clear. And then you start looking at the years. First of all, the first 10 years, I'm not the biggest historian, so excuse me if I make a little mistakes, but the first 10 years from the Sichos that you learn, you get the sense that the Rebbe needed to create Chassidim. Even though we had 7 generations of Chassidim, but the Rebbe needed to create Chassidim on a whole different level. Chassidim, Bale, Kabbalah, oil that are not going to ask questions. Chassidim that are going to be soldiers. They're going to do what he tells them to do. Obviously, he's going to If a Rebbe is going to conquer the entire world, so you need to have people, you need to have a team. Who's going to do it with you? So the Rebbe for 10 years is developing Chassidim. And then afterwards, and at that time there is shlichus already, but it starts growing. At a certain point it becomes the concept of a Beis Chabad. What's that? That's an embassy. And it reaches Kol Katz Ve'Teva, like we see today. A network of embassies across the entire world. Never in the history of the Jewish people was there such a network, was there such a body of people dedicated for the betterment of mankind and for the elevation of the world. And the Rebbe starts a whole series of mitzvahim to reach every single yid, to be mekasher every single yid with a mitzvah, preparing the world for the Geula. Unbelievable. But the Rebbe calls, gives names. For instance, the Rebbe names one of the mitzvahim Neshek. Neshek means weapons. Strange thing to say, weapons. What makes the weapons? Since when does a Rebbe need weapons? Then the Rebbe comes and introduces Tzivos Hashem, an army. Pack an army of the innocent, the little kinderlach, children, but still there's an army. And you think the Rebbe was doing a marketing campaign? How is he going to get kids excited? Oh, and the Rebbe came up and said, if I call them an army, you think the Rebbe kids around? But the Rebbe said army. And then the tanks roll out. And I'm processing all this when I'm 17, 18, 19 years old. There's a concept of mitzvah tanks. But the Rebbe calls them mitzvah, mobile mitzvah. But the Rebbe calls them tanks. And the people in the tanks, tankisten. Since when I come from a Chassidish Welt, right? And I've known a lot of Rebbes. I never heard in the history of all Chassidish Rabbeim a Rebbe with tanks, a Rebbe with weapons, a Rebbe with an army. Rebbes don't have that. The Rebbes have Mishulachim. Rebbes have moisters. Rebbes have, they don't have these things. So right away, who has an army? Who needs an army? Who needs weapons? Who needs tanks? That's a king. It becomes clear that the Rebbes are melech. And you don't even have, you can look. You can see this throughout the entire Messias. It's getting only stronger and stronger. Then it reaches Ad Mosai, and then it gets stronger, and then Ches, and then Tes, Nun Aleph, Nun Beis, Gewalt. We merit to hear such, in Yomim Nefloyim, such expressions that Rebbe says, unbelievable things. And wow, of course, I was completely swept up in this passion and this excitement. But then something happens. We have Chav Zayin Adar, the first one, unexpected. And then a Chav Zayin Adar again. And then we're hit with Gimel Tammuz. I have to say like this. First Chav Zayin Adar, the second Chav Zayin Adar, the Rebbe had the stroke, and I was able to continue in my emunah, in my belief, in my attachment. It was because I was able to include it and say, of course, Moshiach Tzedkeinu has to go through it. It has to be an alamas vestadim and so on. I was able to kind of include it in my mind. But after Gimel Tammuz also, for a couple of months, no problem. I mean, it hurts. It was painful. But on the other hand, yeah. There is this gala v'chayzev and this katsa and this gala v'chayzev and this gala. There's midrashim. There's this, there's that, and we're waiting. We're still waiting for the izgalos every moment. But then as time passes, 1 year goes by, 2 years go by, 3 years goes by, it started becoming very challenging to me, personally. Very difficult, for two reasons. First of all, in my own mind, things didn't make sense, and especially if you're talking, you're going between people, I have family, I have relatives, people start looking at you like you're an absolute lunatic. A belief of Moshiach, already then, even before Gimel Tammuz was pretty extreme, and Lubavitchers were known as Meshugoyim. But Azam Meshugana, Azat Tzedrei to come down. So you know what? So after 2 or 3 years, an interesting thing happened to me, and that is there were two Ruvi wolves. There was an inner me and an outer me. Deep inside, at the very core, and I know this clear, this was all along, deep inside, I knew because we saw it with our own eyes. We saw the Rebbe. We saw Yechi. We saw everything happening with our own eyes. It was clear, no shaila. And it was so. That was my deeper self. That was my Simchas Torah self. After a couple of lechayos. And I remember I was once in 770 Yom Kippur, and by Ne'ilah, screaming Shema Yisrael, Shem Lekeinu Hashem Echad, I had no problem at that moment, in that deep inner moment, to identify my neshama's belief at the inner core that Zehu Zehu, this is who he is. And there was no problem. In my mind, it's clear. Problem is, there is an ordinary self. There is a regular self. There is the more logical, thinking, rational person. And over here, I just couldn't make sense out of it. And I was jealous. When I would come to Fabrengens and when I'd come to 770. And I saw people taking it bepashtos and living with it, but I couldn't relate to it. It hurt me. And then this whole subject started causing so much pain, so much inner turmoil, because it created such confusion. So what I basically did was I took the entire thing, put it in the shelves, and locked it and closed it off and let it gather dust. That means I didn't want to learn the sichos of Nunab. Not that I had anything particularly against it. I learned that here, but I couldn't identify. I lost. It's almost like something deep died inside of me. And it hurt me, but it was kind of like in the back burner, stashed away. And life goes on, and everybody does whatever they do. This lasted till like 3-4 years ago. Something happened. It was a time in Lubavitch that sadly there was a lot of serious tragedies. And there were many people, that young people passed away, shluchim. So there was a gathering in Los Angeles for women. And at that gathering, a lady gathering for women, in which the kinus is oidinus, a shlucha passed away and they made this kinus. They asked me to speak. So I took a walk. Before I talk, I like to think, and I like that the Indian should come to me. Like, I don't like this to try to be controlled. So I walk and I say, whatever the thoughts, wherever my mind goes, a sin, and this is what I have to speak. And when I got up and I spoke, and this is what came to me, I was telling the people that generally, if you get cramps in your stomach, your stomach is hurting you. So what do? There's all kinds of remedies and medicines and various different things you do to hopefully help your stomach when you have a stomach ache. Fine. What happens if someone happens to be that this person who got a stomach ache is a woman who's 9 months pregnant and she's already almost holding by her labor, she's at a due date, and suddenly she gets a powerful cramp? So it obviously would be utterly insane to imagine this woman running to the pharmacy and looking for whatever, Pepto-Bismol or whatever, anything to stop her stomach ache. Lady, it's time to go to the hospital. It's time to give birth. So I said to the people, usually when these tzaras happened in Klal Yisrael, we have a tradition. People took upon themselves fasting, tzedakah. That's all in the mindset that we're in Golus and we're staying in Golus, and now we have to ease the pain. The Eibusha should take away this extra gezeda in Golus. But yes, we're holding by the Geula. It's time to go have a baby. Now, Chas v'Shalom, I didn't want to legitimize the Indian that there's Chevla Mashiach and there has to be pain and suffering. The Rebbe said we were yoitz already. But Mitzad Sheni, the Rebbe did tell us that we have to look at everything from the eyes and the perspective that Mashiach is about to happen. And therefore I said, Medarfen machen sicher that it's time to go give birth. Let's go to the hospital. Now how do we make the baby be born? How do we bring Moshiach happen? I said, the Rebbe told us clearly. I remembered. In Nun Aleph, the Rebbe said to us clearly, beginning in Parshas Tazriah Mitzvah, and again, that the way, Derech HaYeshana, is to learn seriously in Yom Geula Moshiach. So I gave a fiery speech, telling the women that they have to learn in Yom Geula Mashiach. And women, this Chusnashim Tzidkanim, women particularly are so mekabel in Yonim, especially Yonim Vamunim. And there were women that came over to me right afterwards. They said, we're masking all the way, but you should give the shir. K'naina the Ignis have a Pravanka. The one who reads the letter should do it. So no choice. I had to commit to a new shir. So once a week I started giving a shir in the Yom Geula Mashiach. Now I taught in Yom Geula Mashiach from the Sefer the Yula Mashiach ala Parsha. I decided that I'm going to start with Bereshis. I'm going to go through week by mamish every story in the Torah and find the Nekuda of Mashiach in the story. He did a wonderful job, Rabbi Dubov. He brings so many in Yonim. It was very gewaldige Shiurim. But in the course of that, he brings also the Sichos of Nun Aleph and Nun Beis, and it kind of forced me to learn them. And I'm learning them, and an amazing thing happened. As I am learning this, and I'm teaching it, which means I have to absorb it, I have to understand it, and then I have to verbalize it, and articulate it, and explain it to other people, suddenly I started getting more and more and more comfortable with the notion of Moshiach. A magic, but this is what the Rebbe told us. If you're going to learn it, then the Inyan is going to enter into you. Through Torah, it's going to enter into Yerushalayim. Not only that, I became so infused with these concepts and ideas that I started looking at the world around me, and I started noticing that all the things that are going on in the world are the Chmamish Mashiach. And this is what the Rebbe said. If you will learn, then you will open up your eyes, and you'll see the world and everything is that. And then I'm looking at the last 23 or 26 years from when the Rebbe spoke in Nun Beis, and I'm looking at all these years, and it becomes so clear that even though whatever happened, and we have a hell and the Hester, we have a concealment, but at the same time, the world is unbelievably advancing to Mashiach. In all areas, whether it's technology and so many, unbelievable. Just to mention a few, because this was happening just in the last few years, the unbelievable transformation on the political scene. Do we realize, does anybody realize the miracle that just took place in the United States of America? Just from last year. We had an administration, Oichle Yisrael, that stood for everything against that, whatever the Rebbe stood, whatever Yiddishkeit, whatever holiness stands for. And then, B'oifen Nisi completely, that has no explanation. The whole thing went, Moshe Kapoya, miracle, no one expected it. And now we have a whole different situation. Look at the UN in just a year of an ahapachu, such an ahapachu. And I'm coming from Los Angeles, everybody knows a little bit what's going on now, that mamish mountains of klippa are coming down and they're falling. Harim kadoinag namasu. Mountains of klippas are coming crashing down. It is so clear the world is moving towards Mashiach. Who are the two super leaders? And people will say to me, was hat das mit den Reben? And maybe the Eibishter is taking care. Hey, go look, the two superpowers in the world, most powerful people in the world, and there's a whole situation over here if they colluded with each other, Putin and Trump, they could look between the two of them. Both of them are dafke connected to chabad. Dafke, these are the two most powerful people. Dafke Lubavitch. We know what happened the night before the election. The daughter of the president is seen with cameras going to Davin Bamreden. This is crazy. This is such an unbelievable thing, and you see miracles in front of our eyes. The flaws, the whole world is changing. Very, very clear. It became so clear to me. And then one more thing happened. Just 2-3 months ago, I came across a sefer that was given out at this Kinnis HaShluchim last year. A sefer called In Yonei Shel Moshiach. Shalom Ber Wolf, Berel Wolf, I don't know if he's here, maybe I'll meet him, B'ezras Hashem, I know he communicated. And in the sefer, I saw a sefer on Mashiach. I'm always looking for something. I sat, and I got so excited in the sefer, I started learning it. I couldn't put it down for a week and a half. I learned from cover to cover, I went through the entire sefer, the Dafis Lernen. And it blew me away. Why? He took all the sichos of the Rebbe regarding Moshiach, and he systemized them in such a clear way, and in a manner that is so niskabel, in a way to be able to receive it and understand it and appreciate it and internalize it. And I started reading it again. Not only that, I started giving shiurim on Inyan Mashiach based on the Sefer. I was so blown, but it was very special. This is what happened. Now, but as my excitement about Mashiach and the clarity and the understanding that there's, and then when I looked at the sichos, and we're learning them, and we're seeing how this is our only shlichus, and this is what we need to do, I began questioning myself. Am I fulfilling that which I'm a shliach on heaven? Am I fulfilling my shlichus the way I'm supposed to? And not only that, it started causing me a lot of pain. That when I see Bechlal shluchim across the entire world from heaven, and I think there are so many shluchim, so many chassidim shluchim, ba'al mesiras nefesh, devoted to the shlichus, but so many of them are stuck in the place where I was stuck. Not that chas v'sholem, if you would go deep and sit by a farbrengen and say a lot of l'chayims and get to the nekuda atzmis, that inner yechidisha v'nefesh, es v'tarois kum in the amunah without a doubt. But because there is a lack of communication between the mind and the understanding and the deep, rich, powerful, and the nekudas hayahadus that's inside, there is some kind of a disconnect. And therefore people became so afraid, because it causes pain, it causes such confusion, that shluchim across the world started becoming more and more and more removed from the Inyan, to the point that the word even irritates, the word scares, the word causes people to become it's almost like a taboo word. It's a word that you don't mention. If you mention it, it creates a certain discomfort. And this started causing me so much pain. And it bothered me. Chavre, don't we get what's happening over here? Look what's happening. The Rebbe took us mamish to the threshold. He took us mamish to the place and he said, Chavre, but I need you. I need you to help me walk across this threshold. We're going to do this together. And at that moment, chas v'sholem, the thought that the army and the Rebbe's people devoted are deserting the mission, it scared me, it hurts me. And I was saying, Medarf episton, but the people need to come back to what the Rebbe gave it to us. And I really want to speak, and I know what I am saying is dvarim pshutim to everyone over here. But because of the channels that are available today, I hope that my words will reach many others, many other people, many other shluchim, many people around the world that are struggling. And I'm calling out and I'm saying as follows. Number one, let's not forget from Tav Shin Yud from Yud Aleph to L'chavs, learn all the sichos of Chelek Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet. What's the foundation of all those sichos? The foundation is Kabbalah's oil that you do because you're told to do, whether you understand or you don't understand. To chas v'sholem think that because I don't understand, so therefore either I'm just going to ignore 2 years of sichos, I'm going to stash it away, put it, lock it up, and close myself because I verstehe es nicht. It's very scary. How can we? Then the other thought that occurred to me, which I think is very important. Anybody that has a tiny little bit of a whiff of Chassidus knows that the root of the connection of a Yid with the Eibishter, the root and the connection of a Yid with Elokus, the Alter Rebbe explains, is not in Bina, it's not in your Seichel, but it's in Chachma. Chachma is the Nekudas HaBittul, L'mayel L'metam V'das. Simply why? Because you're connecting to Or Ein Sof, you're connecting to an infinite being that infinitely transcends Seichel. And Leis Machshava Tfisa Beklal, there's no thought that can grasp him. And therefore the only Inyan that can connect to the Eibishter is the Bittul of Yechidah Shebenefesh or Chachma Shebenefesh, the Koyach Ma. That's where the Yid is a Yid. The Alter Rebbe teaches us in Tanya that the Jewishness of the Jew is dependent on the Lamayla Metam V'das, on the craziness. And here's a very, very important Inyan. The Alter Rebbe says, Behema Yisayisi Imach. The way to be with the Eibishter is not a Chacham. Behema Yisayisi Imach. I am with you because I'm a Behema. Sometimes I think that wouldn't it be a nice thing? I don't know how nice it would be, but it would be a correct thing. That we should gather all Chassidim, intellectuals, Balei HaSkola, people that understand that I'm a nobody. There are people that have knowledge and deep and know Ayin Beis and Samachvon, have such vast knowledge, both in Nigla and Chassidus. If we should gather all of them, I would love to join as well. And Mamish, I don't know if we have to take off our clothing or not, but we should all get down on all four We should lock the door because we will put down the blinds because we don't want to make this public. And we should all sit together and go moo, moo, moo like a cow. Why? You look at me? Because if we get stuck in our own seichel, when we think that our mind is a barometer, the mind knows. This is it's not, you're not connecting. And we're losing our whole, the Baal Shem Tov, the Chassidim, we're all known as Meshikoyim. Chassidus is an Inyan Lamayla Metambadas. It's Lamayla Min HaSeichel. The Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe was that he took the Lamayla Min HaSeichel and he brought it down in Seichel. To Chas V'Shalom disconnect from an Inyan, so when you're told, what does it mean b'Bayil Mamish? When you're told by a Rebbe, when you're told clear oisias, there's no question. Anybody that sits and learns the Sichos will see clearly that we were given exact instructions, what our avodah is, and so on and so forth. It is so clear. But if we can't relate to it because our minds can't fathom it, because we have questions, because we're looking at what we call facts on the ground, so and so, we have a Lamas Vestaden. And I'll add one more one Nekuda. You know, the Rebbe has so many Sichos where the Rebbe tells us that the Nisayan right before Mashiach comes is Al Yizbayish Mipnei HaMaligim Olav. Not to be embarrassed from those who make fun. I want to ask my dear fellow Shluchim across the world a simple question. Today's days, who is malig on a Chabad house? Who laughs at you for doing Miftzayim? Who laughs at you for Adonai? The whole world is happy. People from everybody's happy. Everybody's happy there's a mikveh. Everybody's happy there's kosher food. Everybody recognizes Lubavitch's Mesilas Nefesh. Everybody cherishes it. The whole world is clapping bravo, bravo, bravo to Lubavitch. No, everybody. The one thing that people do laugh sometimes, the Gleipsten, Mr. Fendiya Chevra, you're from those guys. This is the Inyan of Maligan. And in this Gufrat, the Rebbe gesagt that this is an Nisayan. And a person likes his kavod atzmi, a person wants to be respected. So a person is uncomfortable with the idea that he should be laughed on. But let me ask one more question, my dear friends. Doesn't it make sense? Now we know the Eibishter, the way he works, we don't understand why. Well, Chassidus maybe gives explanation. Before every gilui, before every relation, there's always a concealment. There's always a concealment. There's always a challenge. So it makes sense. Let me ask, doesn't it make sense that before the greatest revelation of all of time, nothing parallels Moshiach? Nothing ever will parallel Bias HaMashiach. This is the ultimate Gilui. Doesn't it make sense in our minds that before that, there will be a concealment, and a very tough concealment, and it will be hard? The Heilige Gerushin has said that right before Mashiach comes, to hold on to the Amunah is going to be like hanging from a rope. You're holding on to a rope. People are literally hanging from a rope. You're holding on. But right before Mashiach comes, they're going to take the rope and they're going to go like this. And people are going to fly because you can't hold on. And to hold on, you have to hold on with Mesilas Nefesh Mamish. Who is the Rishon talking about? Such a the challenge of the moon. It's hard today, to be a frume yid. But it's not. Who is it? It's talking about believing in Mashiach. It's talking about holding on in this. We're holding right by that last threshold, and there's powerful storm winds blowing, and they're blowing and blowing and blowing, and we have to just push forward and get through it. But here's the Indian. When you learn the Sichos, and you learn the Meimarim, and you learn the Yanagil Mashiach, then all that klippa dissipates. All that confusion just disappears, and it becomes so clear, and it becomes so levity, and it becomes so real. So someone will say, Wolf, was bist du etwas Redner in Lubavitch? You're telling Chassidim, I'm not. I'm telling you right now, I am really not, a big mashpia and a big rav and a big this. I don't have to tell you. People will say, the guy is going to tell me what to do for 50 years. I'm so and so. And you know what? Maybe not. Even if I'm not a Lubavitcher. Okay? I didn't have a Lubavitcher mother. Okay? Let's say not. Let me ask you, since when does Lubavitch have the only rights on Moshiach? Meaning to say, let me explain what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Moshiach only Lubavitch? Moshiach is for the entire world. What does it mean Moshiach is for the entire world? When the Eibishter created the world from the very beginning, this is the Kavanah. For them there was Lech Lecha Me'artzecha. There were 10 Nisyonis. There was Akedas Yitzchak. There was Matan Torah. There was Golus Mitzrayim, where Paroi was bathing in the blood of Jewish children. Whatever, how many children. There was 6 million Jews just recently went into the flames. Al Kiddush Hashem, there was an inquisition, there were pogroms, there was suffering. We Jews are unbelievable. Oceans of tears, rivers of blood. And what? So that we should come to this moment. And the Rebbe is the one who is the Achrayas to bring Moshiach. And the Rebbe said, Chassidim, you have to do it shluchim. It's your job to do it. Don't I have the right to call out to shluchim and say, at this moment, chas v'shalom, should we abandon our shlichus because it doesn't make any sense? Because I can't fit it in my mind. And I'm so terrified to open up the sichas and learn it and then allow the amunah I really have, but to allow that amunah to come out. It's frightening, it scares us, but that's the question. This is not only here, it's a nice thing, Moshiach. This is it. This is what it was all about from the very beginning. For us to ignore it is a problem. So therefore, just to conclude is as follows. The reason why I was able to absorb and have this, to a certain degree, transformation for myself was because I was able to pick up a sefer that took all inyanim, what we call oireis tetoyu, and it explained it bekelim the tikkun, in a manner that is gentle, not aggressive, not in your face. You can sense that there was no agenda over there, even though he doesn't hide, there's a chi on the cover. But it's a very, very clean and clear, easy read. And you can connect to it, and he explains it, and it makes sense. Stam, if I'm coming around in general before that, and I'm hearing just a slogan or just this, it didn't work for me. Not that I'm saying chas v'shalom, it's a problem, it didn't work. What I am asking and saying, today is Rosh Chodesh Kislev. It's easy, chas v'shalom, for us to reach out and say, Yener is shuldik and Yener is shuldik, but bottom line, 26 years later, or 23 years after Gimel Tammuz, v'adayin lo ybo. And therefore, the cheshbon hanefesh has to be for us too over here. What's the cheshbon hanefesh? Are we creating enough kelim of tikkun? Are we articulating it in a manner that people can understand? In the Sichas and the Maimarim, whenever the Rebbe talks about the oir habligavul after coming into the kelim, the Rebbe doesn't only blame the kelim for being rigid and strong and not accepting the oir, the Rebbe blames the oir too. The oir too is being too aggressive. The oir doesn't want to consider that there's a kelim, because the oir is so close to the etzem, it wants to just say, this is the way it is, and I don't want to be mitzamtzim there. Chavre, it's important for us as well. We can't do it our own. We need shluchim from the entire world. We can't continue in a state, and you should know, everybody can see, I'm not a party man, I don't belong here, I don't belong there, this is all narishkeit to me. Simple Indian, there's a Rebbe, Moshiach has to come, it has to happen right now, and we have to stop being petty. All of us have to grow up and say, Yid Medar's tongue, Yenigis, Genug, we need to make it happen. And on both ends. We have to join together. We have to join. Kamala's a Yidden. There are people across the world who have such abilities to take and explain and bring things down. I want to make a practical haitzah. I want to give a practical thing that we can do. Sometime, I don't know now, as the Kiddush Shluchim, we're leaving, people are going back home. Sometime over the next few months, Shluchim should get together from across the spectrum. And again, it can't be with any sense of nitzchonus. It can't be with any sense that it has to be my way or the highway. It has to be with an achdus, with a desire for the kavanah pnimis. And what do we want? We want to sit together. We want to learn the sichos. But we also want that every shliach who has the ability to be able to take the inyanim from the B'li Gavul and be malbashit in his bodies in a way that we can understand. So we can empower shluchim across. I know it's done, but it could be done so much better and so much stronger. People, mamish geniuses, people mamish, and mechevne favolam atikun, if you can say. Mamish tikun sheba tikun. These are people that have abilities, they have such clarity. If we can all sit together and say, Chev, enough is enough, we're going to sit together, we're going to take, we're not watering down the Indian. The Indian is the Indian k'moy shahu, but azoivi the sins, we're going to bring it into Kalim, the Tikkun, in manners that people can learn and understand. We were given a job to do it, and if we were given the job to do it, we could do it, and we will do it, and we will get this Indian done. And not Indian, one Indian, this is ours. We will bring his galus of Moshiach, and may it happen. Take it, and take it, and take it. Umiyad, mamish. I know, perhaps, on some level, I'm speaking over here and saying what I'm saying, and I understand that this is not exactly accordance to everybody's rules and regulations, but I'm just going to say that Be'ez Hazois, all I can remember is what Mordechai said, Im hachreish tachrishi Be'ez Hazois. This is not a time for quiet. And I hear what Esther answers when Esther says, Ubechein avay el hamelech v'kasher avadati. Whatever, the mina nish negeya, what's the mina negeya? What's negeya is one inyan v'chein avay el hamelech. We are all coming today to Melech HaMoshiach. We're here. L'chaim, we should merit. There should be this galus of
Sie yadua, als was achsidische verbringen kenufton, ken malach michol mitufton. Halach es kamo v'kamo, Rosh Hashanah l'chsides, Yutas Kislev. Fragt tov shin ein ches. Was ist die Meinung von ein ches? Als die mir weiß noch, als Rosh Hashanah kommt ein neuer Gilu Oyer. Die noch genehmen von Prias Eilom, als größte Gilu Oyer, wie dem Jahr tov shin ein ches, uns mir offen, wir glauben, noch als Friget Roshe, von Kislev, hat das der letzte das Kislev von Goles, und das ist der erste das Kislev von Gehule. Ich bin Meile. Als bis die Geschehen einmal am Eise, was einer Raid, hat gehabt die Hände Machle, und der Rebbe hat gesagt, dass Belsen soll Paskenen, hat die Machle soll weggehen. Und gebuht auf dem Sichel von der Friedrich Rebbe. Rabbeinu hat gesagt in Omer, Mische Ismach besimchosi. Der was das sagt zu freien in mein Simche. Simche ist gut, ist das Kislev. Und sie hängen mit einer Meizar el Amerchav.
Amen.
A zweite Nusach mit der Geshem al Ruach. A dritte Nusach mit der Gehenom. Der andere Girsel של Fiyom Rabbeinu Zokin, mich startef, ואיך חלק בשמחוסי. der was sich משתתף sein. Und nehmen noch חלק משמחה, יזכה לבסנחס, מייצר חלוסוף. ובמילא, wir will nicht so machen am besten. Und der da Koyen, 2 Koyanim sitzen neben uns, und der da Levim, und der da Sach Israelim, und der da Mervizaniden, wenn wir ich gehen mal ich mit gehen mit da doch einer Gassen dann schlecht Zibel und gehen mal Brüche und da gibt es Ritzeriden und da in dem bis mit sehr snappisch gekommen da was mit Paskenen als bei ihr der Macht soll wegen was ihr Name ist Masuda Bas Khomo ad Machle amol ben Meise as ikun in Reit zum Reden und der Reb und gesagt dass früher die Jene Machle und der Reb gesagt so da sitzt Deutsch in Deutschland und da gesagt soll gehen hey zwei von sein und die waren gar gesund das war der Meise und zusammen erinnert von sehr gepackt in mir Deutsch das Kislev wenn wir Paskenen und beten על כשם שבן של למד הפסקן, עדי בן של למד הפסקן,
סעודה בס וחמה.
וי? סעודה. Masuda. Bas Ruchamo soll sein gesund und der Macht von ihr soll weggehen, Teike von mir hat und noch mal richtig Jomim und schon im Teufels.
Amen. Kein Yehi Rotzing.
Chaim. Ja, die nemen me ringen Rabbi Moshiach bij dan bij. After the video that we just saw, so pretty much Rabbi Wolf said it all. But being that it is formally Yutis Kislev Isvadus, so I just want to mention, I'm going to speak very, very bekitzer before I call up Rav Pashtar. So just want to mention a couple of, so to say, technical things. Bekeshem mit Yutis Kislev, that we were Messiahim Gan Sefer Hatanya yesterday, and today we started again, all over again. So it's a time that people take on the Achlot Tevis. This is all Bekesher with Kabbalas Moshiach Tzidkenu. I'll tell you a word that I thought of on the way here. The Rebbe Mashiach tells us that everything has to be how it is the only thing, and it's the Sha'ar, the gate, of Kabbalas Moshiach Tzidkenu B'Peil Mamish. Everything that we do, even the same old things, so to say, but it has to be how it clearly and openly, how is this Kabbalas Moshiach Tzidkenu? All the Yom of Torah mitzvahs, even if you're not learning a Sugya of Moshiach at that time, you start learning some Mishnah, Blat Gemara, a Sif in Shulchan Aruch, a Maimer Chassidus, which isn't big Gilui speaking about the Gilui of Pnimius Atik. You're putting on tefillin, you're giving tzedakah, whatever it is. Also the Inyanim of Inyani Rishus, B'chol Derechecha, B'chol Maasecha, everything has to be how it is directly and openly Kabbalas Moshiach Tzidkenu. So it can be a challenge at times. So in a number of letters in Ikes Kodesh, the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach brings down from one of the big chassidim of the early generations, a famous chassid, the Reb Hillel Parditcher. Reb Hillel, besides being such an unbelievable goin in Nigle and in Chassidus, a tremendous maskil in Chassidus, he was very, very, as we would call it, frum. He had a lot of frumkeit and a lot of hidurim and all sorts of chumras in mitzvahs. And Reb Hillel said about himself that all of his hidurim that he has in mitzvahs is all in order as his upleg and avart chassidus. Everything that he was doing, even though what's the connection? It's a person mahader in Nechleis in Netilas Yadayim, hidurim and all sorts of things. Everything that he did, whatever it was, his esrog, his tefillin, whatever hither he had, as his upleg and avort chassidus. So ulay shloimar, that's the attitude that we have to have, because that was in the beginning of the Gilui Chassidus in the first generations. But now they're already holding, as we heard, and it says klar in the Siches. So everything that we do is as his upleg, and even more than that das soll reinführen to my personal Kabbalas Moshiach Tzidkenu, my Gula Pratis, and of course for the big one. Now, today is the day that we take on to learn Sefer HaTanya. We started all over again, so no one's behind yet.
So today's Shir Tanya is right at the beginning of Sharblat, etc. Al Derech Zed the Rebbe Moshiach mentions all the Shirei Chitas of Chumash with Rashi and saying the daily Tilim. It's also a time of Siyum HaShas, Chalukas HaShas. So, and if you want to be Mishtatif in Masechta or whatever, so I know what I personally do because in Chicago, our Kihila is not yet large enough to be able to do, as Alter Rebbe says in the Shir Tanya from yesterday, to be Mechalik Shas in our community. It's Pashat not possible because if there's like 63 Masechtas in Shas, so I think each person would have to take quite a number. So what I personally do is I'm Mishtatif in 770. So you can do that. So if you want, you could contact, today Mr. You could do everything on the online. I'm old-fashioned. I still call up one of my kids and I tell them, fill out the zettel, but you could do it online. You could fill out, take Masechta, and then it's over there in big, huge sign in the back of 770 on the Meirevant. It has your name and your Masechta, and it's an Achrayis, and you finish it for next year. You test Kislev about Leila Lateva. So it's Chalukas HaShas. And for us Chassidim, so there's, as the Rebbe Moshiach refers to it as a Sefer. There's a Sefer HaYom Yom, which, as we all know, the Rebbe Moshiach put together from the different things of the Rebbe Rayatz. And every day has a word, mit jeden Tag, you can mamish verbring on a shir, each day. So we're missing that Sefer. And at that time, it was such a haktzana, such an extreme thing to do. Today, the Pashtus, Hayom Yom, with this Kislev. Then, in Tovshin Gimel, officially, with the Kehaz Stempel, a Sefer, which was then put together by the Chassan de Venesia, the son-in-law, but it's officially from the Rebbe Rayatz. I'm saying this, and it starts Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of a Luach. It's a Luach or a Zarua. It's a Luach. What kind of calendar doesn't start on Aleph Tishrei? Right? Perish B'chsav, the first month is Nisan, but Chodesh Hashvi is the first for the calendar year, and every single Luach starts with Aleph Tishrei till Chavtes Elul. Wo gehört geworden an andere Sach? It's impossible. And azoi, comes again, the Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach, and officially, macht al Luach, with the Shiurim, with the Minhagim, with the Avort Chassidus, and it starts Yutes Kislev until Erev Yutes Kislev of Tavshin Dalet, or Tav Dalushin. So by us today, it's already Pashtus. So it's very important for a person to Pashut learn the daily Hayom Yom. Many shul have the minute, of course, that right after davening. That wasn't always like that. I don't know when I was a bacher. It wasn't Pashut that every minion did it. Shtes is a Hergesh-Sach from Chassidim. You learn the Hayom Yom. Farin davening, Nochin davening, someone officially says it. But don't do it as you're like running out, you're throwing off, you're taking off Talsum Tefillin, and then quickly someone saying, each thing, we can mamash love with them. Then I think it was Tovshin Mem Tes, on Yutes Kislev, the Rebbe Moshiach himself spoke about the Hayom Yom, and he spoke about not only the first day, but on the first page of Hayom Yom, the top half of the page, which isn't even officially on Yutes Kislev. It's Mimichtav Amur from the Rebbe Rashab's letter. And in the past, I read it, I translated it over here in this Maimed. But again, as we just heard from Rabbi Parish, that there was never such a Yutes Kislev with the Hamshach of Gilui Lukus as Tavshin Ches. So every single year, we learn all of these shiurim over and over again. So I just want your indulgence. I'll try to do Bekitzer, just to read through the letter, and then the Hayom Yom for Yutes Kislev. B'chlal, it's a good thing whenever Chassidim get together. If I bring in an official thing, you start off the Hayom Yom of that day. I know that in 7 by the Siyumei HaRambam, that they make a Siyumei HaRambam every single halacha. Not only every Sefer 14 times a year, every single halacha, Pei Gimel halachas. Every Motzei Shabbos is a Malav Malka, which is Siyumei HaRambam, and then during the week, once or twice, depending on where we're holding in a Rambam. And this came Milamayla Lamata. That's a whole separate story, maybe when we're sitting down in a more informal thing by the Fabrengen, I could say over the whole Maise, how it happened, how it came about. I got some Maise with a surprise Fabrengen, and a lot of the details. I'm not going to go into it now. So read as follows. Mimichtav Amur. And listen to these words. This is the first time in history that any of the Rabbeim said these words, that he wrote it down, describing it as Kislev. And again, by Pashtus, we say, yeah, it's Rosh Hashanah l'Chassidus, this and that, no problem. Someone walked in this afternoon and he says, he's up my G'yomtiv, L'Shana Tova, Epes, Tikasevu. Well, he wanted to say what Gap was the Nusach. So the base Brisk and the base Harav by us had a very close connection. The Rebbe Nishma Satan worked together with Reb Chaim Brisker, and there was a big kesher. Reb Leivik got smicha from Reb Chaim. So in Chicago, years ago, Reb Aaron Soloveitchik lived there. I had a shaychus with him. I actually learned of the kollel. And his Einiklach went to Lubavitcher Cheder in Chicago. So they're very close, and they're very serious people. And very apologetically, one of them, Rabbi Eliezer Soloveitchik, he now lives in New York, the son of Reb Aaron. So he tells me, but with the Echeretz, and he was very apologetic. He was even like a bit, with trepidation, how he's asking the question. He says on one of the kids' worksheet or something, it's Kislev. So the Melamed, I think Shalom Reitzes, put on it over there. The Nusach mit Gediontif and the Shana Teva Bolim ben Achsidus over that Achsidus the Kaseva v'Sechasemu. I know Rabbi Reitzes as a Freiliche Cheverman Abislalet, so he was joking, right? And I had the job to explain to him, no, that it's serious, and to explain to him the Makeres and show him the Makeres. So the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach points out in the Sikh of this past Shabbos that this letter was written Tes Zayin Kislev Taf Reish Samach Beis. We all know what Taf Reish Samach Beis is, yeah? What happened to Taf Reish Samach Beis? The birth, when the neshama of Melech HaMoshiach came into the goof of Melech HaMoshiach. The Goyal Achrein, Kipshutei Mamish. Now talking about Tisha B'Av, a lot of things. We're talking about Melech HaMoshiach, Shlita, was it Giborin, Yud, Aleph, Nissen, and this day, and this time, and this in this city, Yom HaZagashmi. So his Yeridas HaNeshama was Yud, Aleph, Nissen, Tov, Reish Samach Beis. This letter was written that year. And this is what the Rebbe Rashab explains. Yutes Kislev Achag Asher Padu V'Sholom Nafsheinu V'Or V'Chayus Nafsheinu Nitan Lonu Hayoim Hazeh Hu Reish Hashanah Ledach for Chassidus Asher Hinchilunu Aveiseinu HaKadoshim Zecher Tzadikim U'Kdoshim Levrach L'Chaim Haba Nishmas Meiden Ziyah V'Hi Teiras HaBal Shem Tivzal. I'm not going to translate much. Just listen to these words, and if you understand it, great, and if not, I'm sorry. Just listen. Ze hayoim tchilas maasecha. Shleimus hakavana hoamitis bivrias haadam alei eretz. Lehamshich gilui or pnimius teiraseinu hakdeisha. Asher nimshach bayem hazeh bivchinas hamshacha klolis al klolus hashana. Ve'oleinu lehoir levaveinu bayem hazeh. Bivchinas chayfetz v'rotzein pnimi v'atzmi b'amitas nekudas levaveinu sheyoyer nafsheinu be'or pnimius teiraso yisbarich mi ma'amakim krasicha havaya lahamshich b'chinas oimek ufnimius teiras havaya u'mitzvei savaya mibchinas pnimius v'atzmus orein sof baruchu sheyoyer b'pnimius nafsheinu asher kol atzmuseinu Reitzeloimar kol mitziuseinu ha'etzem v'yispashtus chuli. Yiyu elav yisbarich levad. Legareish meitanu kol mida ra'a u'meguna mehamida yisativiyos. Ki im kol asiyoseinu vinyanenu. Hein ba'avoy dahainu tfilu v'teiru mitzvahs. Vein vinyane yoylam ha'muchrachim l'kiyum ha'guf. Yiyu b'chavon ha'mitis l'shem shamayim asher chofetz Hashem chulu. V'Hashem yisbarich Over Rachamim Yirachim Aleinu V'Yanchenu B'derech HaTeva V'Yeshara Yashar Yechazu Fanemoy. That's an excerpt of the entire letter. The Rebbe Rashab did not come to. He was away from Lubavitch that year, and the Chassidim felt so zubrachen. The Rebbe is not with them. They can't see the Rebbe. He's not there, so he wasn't there. So instead, he sent this letter, and it was a whole many details of how it was read. Then on Shabbos, with the Berayat, this letter was read. And Hayom Yom, officially for Yutas Kislev. Shabbos, Yutas Kislev, Hedoshin Gimel, Haftarah, Chazon Evadia, Ein Oimim Avarachim V'Tzkascha, which means we don't say Tachnun today. Shiurim Chumash, Tilim, Tanya. Ein Hashatz Misati B'Talis L'Mincha L'Mayrev, Loi B'Shabbos Yom Tov, Loi B'Rish Hashanah. The first minute brought down is that by us the Chazan does not put on a talis for Mincha Mayrev, not Shabbos and Yom Tov, and not Rosh Hashanah. Hilula Shel Rav Magid Mimez Rich Gimel Vayeshev Tov Kuf Lamed Gimel Umnechosek Bani Pali. Today is the Mezritcher Magid's Yom HaHilula. Admor Hazokin Yotzel Cherus Mim Asara Harishain. Yutes Kislev Gimel Vayeshev Tov Kuf Nutes Lifnei Sarev. The Alter Rebbe was released from his first imprisonment on Yutes Kislev, the third day of the week, Tuesday of Vayeshev, in the year Tov Kuf Nutes, towards the evening. Mimichtav Rabbeinu Hazokin. The Alter Rebbe writes in a letter like this, describing this day. Beram Kigein Dog Sarich Lohidia. Kigei Masharas Hashem Lanu. Yom Yutas Kislev, Yom Gimel Shuchel Bekitoiv, Yom Hilul Rabba Shel Rabbeinu HaKadosh Nishmas Eden. That this is the great awesome day of the 19th of Kislev. It's Tuesday, third day of the week, which says Kitoiv twice by the Bria. This is the day of the Hilula of Rabbeinu HaKadosh, which is the Magid. Uchshekarisi b'Sefer Tilim, v'fasuk Pada v'Sholem Nafshi. Writes the Alter Rebbe that when I was saying the Tilim that day, and I got to the pasuk of Pada v'Sholem, before I read the next pasuk, I was released. So that's why the theme of the day, of course, is Pada v'Sholem Nafshi. Yoim Isvadus v'Kabbalas Achlotes Teves v'Kvius Itim L'Teira HaNiglis v'Dach Barabim v'Chizuk Tarkei HaChasidim v'Ahavas Reim. This is the day to Fabrein and to take on Achlotes Teves in setting up times to learn Nigle and Chasidus Barabim in public, and to strengthen the ways of Chassidim with Ahavas Reim, with brotherly love. Noyagim l'sader chalukas hashas, al pi haseder hamover b'ger hasakodesh diber maskal lechiach techiach, v'lubavitch mishnas tofresh samach kibel v'ilach hayim l'saderim chalukas hashas, chof talo b'tevis yem ilula shel Rabbeinu Hazokin, mipnei efes apnai b'yutas Kislev. So this is the day, as we mentioned, that we do chalukas hashas, and at that time in Tofshin Gimel, they stopped doing it in Tofresh Samach Gimel, on Yutas Kislev, so they started doing it Chaftala Tevis. And in Tofshin Yud Gimel, if I'm not mistaken, the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach reinstituted the old original minhag to do Chalukas Hashas on Yutas Kislev. And once we're speaking about all of these learning, and we mentioned Nigle, so for a Chabad Chosid, what's the first thing that you have to have a Kviyas when you make a Achlot Teva? Yutas Kislev by Chsish Chabrengen. What's the first thing? Limud HaRambam. This is a takana of the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach that everyone, men, women, and even children. So whether it's 3 prakim a day, for those that can, 1 parak a day, or Sefer HaMitzvahs. Each day, those mitzvahs that you're supposed to learn, for the women and for the children. And the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach kocht sich so strongly in the union of Limud HaRambam. And you mamish see the tremendous giluyim and ashkacha pratis. And the sefer that Rabbi Wolf mentioned, from Bera Levolf, in Yonei Shel Moshiach, so he takes all the sichas with her, and Imamish is mesader it. Amongst the many sichas that were zeicha to have a clear explanation about Moshiach and Yimais Moshiach and all the details of Moshiach is the Hadronim. Every year the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach makes a Hadron, a siyum, on the Rambam, and with Mamish the Teir Chadash. This is tremendous giluyim. So we see how the Rambam Yomi is connected such Hashkacha Prati so many times. So I just want to share with you one thing from today's Shir Rambam Yutes Kislev. It's a halacha that the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach brings down countless times and kocht sich in it. In today's Rambam, he speaks about marriage, kiddushin, and there's a concept of a person being able to mekadesh an isha, and he says almanas, that she is mekudesh to him if such and such. So if it is so, mikudeshes. If it's not so, ain't no mikudeshes. And many examples, it's a whole sugya in the Gemara that I want to bring it from. So if someone says to a woman that Hariach mikudeshes li almanas shani tanoi, that I know how to learn Mishnah, so we have to see a certain amount of Mishnahs. Does he know? Yes. If yes, not. Almanas shani ashir, almanas shani this, that. How about if someone says to a woman, he gives her the kesef kiddushin, or he puts the ring on her finger, and he says to her, Hareat mikudeshes li almanas shani tzadik, or like the Rebbe Moshiach likes to bring down the gears of there is a ruach. Tzaddik Gomur. Now we learn Sefer Tanya, so we hear about a tzaddik and a beinoni and this kind of a tzaddik and that kind of a. A man says to a woman in a serious moment in front of two eidim, as he's giving her a ring, Hareat mikudeshes li almenas shani tzaddik Gomur. What's the halacha? Harezu sofek mikudeshes shema hira tshuva b'liboy. And the Rebbe Moshiach explains that it's only sofek mikudeshes because Bezen Shalmata doesn't know what's going on in his heart. Klape Shemaya, she could be mamish mikudeshes. That's why l'chumra she would either need a get or he has to go ahead and mekadesh her again without this funny, condition. Just be normal and say Hareat mikudeshes, and that's it. Because all it takes to become transformed from a heipich gamur. Let me try to illustrate this. I'm sorry for taking up so much time. Let me illustrate this. We go on with Tzayim, the Lubavitchers, we have a person, Nocham makes, come, let's go put on the tefillin, I grab him, and before he knows what hit him, I already have the tefillin on him. Okay, what happens? A guy, do you guys have McDonald's over here? Okay, not nice to mention over here, forgive me over here. I'm Mokin Kaddish and Asman Kaddish. Okay, you have Rahman al-Itzlan. He doesn't know, whatever. And even if he's not a Tinik Shanishba, a guy is walking out of McDonald's and he had lunch over there with a shikze. And how did he pay for the lunch? Because he just robbed the bank. And while he was robbing the bank, he had to kill the teller. So he killed the bank teller, he took the money, he grabbed the shikse, and he ate chaza treif in McDonald's. As he gave a gesetz the greps, he walks out, and now a Lubavitcher Bacher walks over to him, come to me, double leg in tefillin. Before he puts on tefillin, that yid can be the one that tips the scales, as the other lachem b'naman has tshuva, maybe tshuva atzala, that yid just became transformed from a Rasha Gomur to a Tzaddik Gomur. How long does it take? No time. A rega. All he needs to have a real, true hirur tshuva. He didn't say vidu yet. He didn't fulfill Veishivas Akzela. He didn't yet tell the shiksa that she's thrown out. He did not do anything of that. He needs to do those things. Those are details, those are technical chiyuvim that he has to do. But to become a tzaddik gamur, all he needs is the hirur tshuva. That's halacha that the Rebbe Moshiach brings down, and that's in the Shir Rambam of Yutes Kislev this year. Amazing, the Chag HaGeula. The Meile, soll man solche sein, that everybody should have their Geula Pratis, all the Yeshuas, V'nechamas, and the Refuas, and everything that we need. Poshet ki pshutoi, V'gashmius, Lamata Me'asar Tfachim, Mamish, Gesund, and whatever people need, Parnasa, Shalom Bayis, alle gute Sachen. And what's Oilal Gabeihen, that's all very important for every one of us as kleine geld, kesef katan, small change. But then we have, mit ein ker, like the Rebbe had said, Yeshuas, with one big Yeshua. And that is that on this Chag HaGeula, which it all began, Yutes Tes Tovkuf Nun Tes, so it comes to the culmination in Tovshin Ayin Ches, and we celebrate the rest of this Yutes and Chav Kislev, Begula Mitis Vashlema, in the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi, in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, together with all the in the ganze Welt, and of course, Melech HaMashiach B'Reisheinu, leading us straight into the Geula. one of the Choshev Shluchim in France, in Tzarfas. And if you learned the Sikha of last week and then of this Shabbos, Vayishlach and Vayeshev, that's like the whole point of Vayeshev Sikha is Tzarfas. So we have over here a Yid, a Shliach, and if I got it correct, so Lashon Harav is Akoin Agad Me'echav. Yeah. So Akoin Agad Me'echav. How many Kehanim can say that that's what they were called by Melech HaMashiach L'chvei V'atzmai? So Harav Mashtar.
לחיים לחיים, יחי אדוננו מורנו ורבנו מלך המושיח לעולם ועד. אחים יקרים, זה יותר קל בשבילי לדבר ביידיש. ברשותכם, אספר ביידיש, אגיד ביידיש, מפעם לפעם אגיד כמה מילים בעברית. רק ברשותכם. זה לא יותר טוב ביידיש. יידיש זה שפת המלך. לשון הטבע בלימוד החסידות בדרכי החסידות תיכתבו ותחתמו. אמן. פותחים בדברי סיכס קדש. In der heilige Siche von Reben auf Jutes Kislev, eine von den Siches, sagt der Rebbe, als der letzte Shabbos, was der Magid Mimeseritsch ist gelebt באלמדיין, השבת האחרון של המגיד, הרב המגיד ממזריץ' בעולם הזה היה שבת וישלח, והוא נתן על זה תורה. וישלח יעקב מלאכים לפניו. Jakob hat geschickt Malochim Pharem el Esau Achiv zu Esau, sein Bruder. Sagt Rashi Omer Malachim Mamash. Malachim Mamash. Und der Magid Geazei gesagt, Azei Mevaer gewinnt. Noch der Mamesh von Malochim hat Jakob geschickt zu Esau. Aber die Ruchnies, die Atzmies von den Malochim ist geblieben אצל Jakob. רק הממשות של המלאכים הוא שלח לעשו אחיו. זאת אומרת הגוף. אבל עצמיות המלאכים, עצם המלאכים, נשאר אצל יעקב. Das ist die Nikude, a welche mit aufbauen die ganze Schliches. Eben ist a Shaliach und alle Jiden von dem Dor Ashvi, und der Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach gesagt, als sie alle seine Schluchim. Ist auf die Basis, auf der Yesod, boit man a Shaliach. Der Schaliach geht zu sein Schlichus mit dem Guf. Aber Nafshe Yatzmius Nafshe bleibt beim Reben, beim Meschaleach. Ständig. Sie darf bleiben und das ist Atna Ikari, als die Schlichus soll Matzliach sein. זה תנאי עיקרי שהשליחות יצליח. ולהבין זה נחזור לפרשת ויצא. את מווילדוס ושטיין דף מנקוקטון פרשס ויצא אף פוסוק מנירו המקום הזה וכן יש אלוקים, יש השם במקום הזה ואנוכי לא ידעתי. אף צווייטן פירוש, בפירוש השני של בייס אלוקים, כי הם בייס אלוקים, זוגת רש"י, אז בייס כל היא נתגוון ירושלים. אז יעקב ist gegangen direkt ישיר לחרן, וילך חרנה. Kommen dich zu Haran, hat gesehen, als hat getracht, als ich bin durchgegangen, Jerusalem, Ara Moria, Makom שהתפללו אבותיי, und ich habe nicht gestellt dort und davenen. במקום הזה לא התפללתי, לא התעכבתי. was hat getan? חזר את דרכו. עוד פעם, und ist gegangen noch einmal zurück zu Jerusalem, Ara Moria. verdafar hat gesagt, ואנוכי לא ידעתי. erste Mal hab ich nicht gewusst. Was ist gegangen zurück zu Jerusalem? Weil als ist zugekommen zu Haran, hat gesehen, als die Avede Sore dort und die Klippe ist sehr stark, sehr groß, sehr stark, sehr Gas. als mit dem ganzen Teure, was hat gelernt bei Shem Vehever. במשך 14 Jahre kann nicht auskommen, kann nicht מסכן sein, הוא לא יכול לתקן את הקליפה הגדולה של חרן. לתקן, לברר, in dem Zeit hat noch gekannt מברר sein. Die Sachen, was einkämen nicht. Sie gewinnen als Mann vom Birur הקליפס הגסס. mit dem ganzen Teure, בכל התורה כולה שלמד אצל שם והבר, בבאר שבע, זה היה רק לכוחות הגילויים שלו. הוא חינך את עצמו בדרגה הגילויה. אבל מתכויחס הגילויים יותר nicht gekannt auskommen mit einer Wiedesore von Haran. Was hat getan? Ist wieder zurückgegangen zu Jerusalem. אכן יש השם במקום הזה. dort not mit dem gegeben Keiches Nehelmim, Keiches Makifim, dort not mit dem gegeben נתנו מלמעלה כוחות מקיפים, ועם הכוחות המקיפים האלה in die Kirche hat gekannt, die zweite Mal auskommen mit Harang. במקום הזה, במקום זה בייס מקום. Ich bin gekommen zweimal in dem Ort. Und wir nehmen den Milui, Gematria במילוי של בייס, macht es wir in der Tunne 12. Der Milui von Makom macht 358. 358 ist die Gematrie von Moshiach. Beis Moshiach. Zusammen beim Makom 770. Dort ist Ara Moria. Dort ist Beis Hamikdash. מקדש מעט של זמן הגלות. דort נמט מן כויכס מקיפים. משם לוקחים כוחות גדולים מקיפים שאפילו לא מרגישים מזה. אבל אחר כך איזמן מצליח in die שליחוס. יצליחו בכל ענייני השליחות על ידי כוחות שהרבי נותן, ובלבד שהוא נשאר תמיד במחשבה, בהרגשים, בדיבור, במעשה, עם הרבה. ולכדצל המעשה, אספר לכם לפניכם מעשה שסיפר המשפיע הגדול רבי מנדל פוטרפס, שהיה איש מסירות נפש. הוא סיפר שכאשר הוא היה קטן למד בחיידר, רוצה gelernt in Cheder in Russland. Und dort einmal ist einer Talmid gekommen mit der Bottle Tint im ganzen ledig. Jeder Kind hat gedacht bringen בקבוק של דיו, לכתוב. נתנו את העט בדיו, והבוקר, וביום ההוא היה גבין התלמיד, ועוש מצד, חוויסנית, מצד אורנקייט, מפני העניות שלו, או מצד סיבה אחרת, אני לא יודע, לא היה לו את הדיו. hat nicht gehabt kein Kind. Hat gebeten, der zweite Rachaber, gib mir ein bisschen Kind. בבקשה. Der zweite hat gehabt viel Kind. Ein Bottle viel. Ist gib mir ein bisschen Kind. Und der zweite nicht gewollt, Mesareb. Lo. Das gedacht oben von deinen. Hat nicht gewollt. Ist der More und margisch gewesen dem Ihnen, gesehen von Weitem. וראה מרחוק. כשכל התלמידים, alle תלמידים seinen gesessen, היה hat angerufen dem Talmid, was hat ein Bottle Tint und nicht gewollt geben. קרא את התלמיד שהיה לו את הבקבוק מלא, קרא ללוח. עוד מצאייר גבין הנלף, der More, מצאייר גבין הנלף auf dem Luach und gefragt dem Talmid, was ist das? Oder Talmid geantwortet Aleph. Oder Mora geantwortet nein. Es ist nicht Aleph. Es ist ein Ort, wo sagt, als du hast ein Backbuch Tint Malé und ein zweiter bei dir darfst du geben. Das ist der Ross. Nicht Aleph. Später hat gezeichnet ein Beis. Selbe Sache. Was ist das? Beis. Nein. Das ist ein Ross, wo sagt dir, als du hast ein Backbuch Tint Malé und ein zweiter Beit bei dir, als du sollst dem geben, darfst du geben. Später hat gezeichnet ein Gimel und ein Dalet und ein He und ein Wort, die ganze Aleph-Beis. Bis die letzte Ross. Was hat gewollt, erzählen die meisten, als die ganze Teure ist gegeben geworden, zu sagen, als man darf geben der Zweiten, man darf machen Gmilus Chesed mit der Zweiten. Das, was man sagt später, das ist ein Aleph, ein Beis, ein Gimel, das ist ein zweiter Perush, das ist ein zweiter Pshat. Selbe Sache mit dem Meisef, mit Rabbi Zikomler. Gehört einmal wegen, שמעתם אודות רבי אייזיק אומלר, רבי יצחוק אייזיק מאומל, לוי נפשטיין אותו גייסן. gewinnt ein größer Talmid von alten Reben. עד כדי כך, אז מאוד gewollt machen von ihm הממלא מוקם אחרי פטירת, אחרי ההילולה של האדמו"ר האמצעי. מות nicht gefunden kam ממלא מוקם, der Tzemach Tzedek gewinnt ein Junger, und man getracht auf Rabbi Zikomler. Also ich größe der gewinnt. Rabbi Zikomler ist einmal gekommen in Kislev. בא לעיר שקלוב, שהיה בליטא. דort gewinnt הסך גאונים. In der Rauf und Schklov gewinnt sein Chaver, Chavruta. Gewinnt ein größer Talmid Chochem. In Kabole, in Chassidus, in Nigle, ein größer Talmid Chochem. Ich sollte gesagt dem Rauf, als will darstellen dem Shabbos. הוא היה רוצה לדרוש בבית הכנסת. Es gibt dort zwei Bate-Knesios in Kislev, eine kleine und eine große. Zu die normalen Menschen, die so gewollt darstellen und man Marsche gewinnt, als sie sollen gehen in die kleine. Als sie gewinnen eine größere, sie ja jetzt in der Klall, hat man ihm gegeben Reschuss zu darstellen in die Größe. Aber in die Größe Beit HaKnesset hat geheißen, die Beit HaKnesset von Shin Yud Gaonim. Gewinn 310 Gaonim. Hat sich gedacht, mesten mit sie. היה צריך להתמודד איתם. זה לא היה קל. Ist gegangen in Größe, hat gesagt, er will in die Größe Schule. Ist gegangen Shabbos in die Größe Schule und die Shin Yud Gaonim sollen ihn dort gewähnt und gewartet auf ihn. Zu zerbrochen auf Stücklich, zerreißen auf Stücklich. Und er angegeben hat sie. כתוב בפרשה, haben Sie geguckt auf den Parasha? Was redet er? Wir reden nicht von Gemorre, von Tismes, wir reden von Parasha? שוב. כתוב בפרשה, וישלח יעקב מלאכים לפניו אל עשיו. Was will das sagen? מה הפשט? וישלח יותר geschickt. Jakob, מלאכים, לפניו, פורעים, לעשיו, זו הקדוש ברוך הוא. לעשיו זו הקדוש ברוך הוא? Ist alle Garonim haben sie gesprungen auf den Bime, zu machen als Sof. Was ist das? Achilul Hashem? Ist Arois, רץ לחוץ. Ist Arois. Schnell. Später ist der Rov, sein Chaber, gefragt, bist du geworden Meshuge? השתגעת? Was ist das? Eisov זה הקדוש ברוך הוא. sagt זה המפורש גמורה, was steht dort in כל התירש מאיסוף של הקדוש ברוך הוא. ist אפילו Eisov, ist הקדוש ברוך הוא. Und eben du willst wissen, wenn ich dir sage den Pshat von dem Posuk, וישלח הקדוש ברוך הוא, יעקב הקדוש ברוך הוא, מלוכים זה הקדוש ברוך הוא, לפונוב זה הקדוש ברוך הוא, לעשוב זה הקדוש ברוך הוא, die ganze Teire זה הקדוש ברוך הוא. dieselbe Sach. כל התירה זה הרבי. der Schaliach will sein Starker und Matzliach sein in sein Schliches, darf sein Mekusher zum Reben, weil כל התירה זה הרבי. יחי אדוננו מורנו ורבנו מלך המשיח לעולם ועד.
Seite.